I have no clue where I am. I'm somewhere out in the suburbs. And let me tell you, these people will cut you for a parking spot. I gotta get out of here. Hey, AusetGypsters. Welcome back to another segment of AusetGypsy on the road. I appreciate everybody watching my little stories and rants as I travel across the country. Today, while I'm out on the open, long road, I'm being flashed. Someone behind me obviously thinks I'm going too slow. And, I don't know, my conversation today is going to revolve around the interesting topic and conversation of fortune teller versus psychic. Yeah, I know, this seems so trivial, and realistically it's trivial to me too, but it's a fun point of conversation. I've got a lot of peers in the community of what I do, and if you don't know by now, I'm a tarot card reader, and a renowned palmist, and a published astrologer. I really love what I do, but it really gets people's ghost, or goat, I don't know how that phrase goes really, but either one is acceptable to me. Let me know which one you like better. And it really gets their ghost, or ghost goat. When you say fortune teller, people have adopted the word psychic. That's cool, that's cool. I mean, if we really break down the origins and definition of the word psychic, it's Greek, and it means reader of the soul, reader of the spirit. But you know, ever since post-20th century psychology came on the scene and really made an influence on divination or fortune telling, people have equated it with probably more psychology. Because, you know, you'll get some hecklers who'll be like, read my mind, what am I thinking? You know, and I've always got a good comeback for them. I would never want anyone to read my mind. That's kind of private and personal. It's kind of why I like tarot card readings. Each character is a window to a person's spirit or soul or life, and it gives us that available information right there in those cards without peering too deep into complete personal areas of one's life. It gives us the permission to see what we just need to see. I think that's good. But here we go with the word psychic. I think of people in the back of an Inquirer magazine with a bob haircut with shoulder pads like Joan Crawford. Hey, Joan Crawford, exactly. But probably more Alexis Carrington from Dynasty, big shoulder pads, looking very serious, being taken very seriously, very professional. And, you know, and I think if you think of the word fortune teller, you might think of the stereotypical gypsy-esque character like an Esmeralda, or, you know, something a little bit more flair, more bohemian. And I guess I like to call myself a fortune teller. Not that I downgrade myself and my abilities, but there's a little bit more flair to it. But in the tarot community, these people go crazy over this. They don't like the word fortune teller because it harkens back to a time of con artists and carnivals. Well, guess what, everybody? I started my whole entire career at the world's most famous stationary carnival, known as Islands of Adventure in Universal Studios. And this was quite a while ago, and things have changed there, so I don't think you'll see any more fortune tellers or psychics there. But, you know, I was young, I was in my 20s, and we did fast food readings, which was like, you know, 5-minute readings per person, and you saw like 20,000 people in an hour, and it was fantastic. Did it water down or take away from any of the spiritual consultation? Absolutely not. You just had to work at a faster pace. You know, and I've worked with my fair share of amazing psychic, spiritual fortune teller people, and I've worked with some crazy people who I'm sure bordered on con artists, but I'll save those stories for another day. I don't mind the term fortune teller. It's kind of romantic. You know, people get on my case sometimes about my image. Yeah, I married a little bit of a rock star image with, you know, my gig and what I do, but that's just my personal flair. I like that anyway. I've always dressed like that. That's neither here nor there. And I respect my contemporaries and peers who take what they do very seriously and want to be taken seriously. But it becomes like the astrologer-astronomer argument, where astronomers don't want to recognize us, we astrologers. And just like psychics don't like to acknowledge us fortune tellers. One time I did a video gig for the Learning Annex in New York City on Halloween night. And I did a whole entire fantastic video tutorial on witchcraft. And then the woman coming in after me was doing something on tarot, but she was also debunking gypsies and fortune tellers. And when she saw that she was very nice to me at first, but then when she saw that in my title was the word gypsy, of course, AusetGypsy, oh, she let me have it, almost like a religious zealot. So I was kind of thrown back a bit. And to those of you who have your different opinions on the word psychic or fortune teller, there's two sides to every story. So I hope this little video has helped you think about that a little bit, and, don't be so hard on those of us who call ourselves fortune tellers. And, just because one calls himself psychic or tarot card reader, sometimes tarot card readers like to dabble in amateur psychology. That troubles me. I never ever claimed to be a psychologist. I know what I do. I've studied and practiced metaphysics a good portion of my life, maybe even my whole life. That's neither here nor there too. But well enough to know that in my profession, I know metaphysics, and I can counsel someone and share with them my metaphysical savvy and hope that it helps them in their life make decisions. But no way, shape, or form would I ever tell someone I was a psychologist. I think that's dangerous. When I see tarot card readers or psychics start dabbling too much in pseudo-psychology and start saying that the cards are psychological tools, maybe in the hand of a trained psychologist or therapist, I know that a lot of those people use the tarot in their work, and it probably does help, and I think that's brilliant. The tarot is an amazing mystical book that can be used in many different ways. Nobody owns it and nobody can brand it, but it can be used in numerous ways. But when a tarot card reader or spiritual counselor starts dabbling too much in the psychology of it, I get a little nervous about that, because I'm a spiritual counselor. I will help you with what I know, like I just mentioned, metaphysically, but no way psychologically. And that has churned up a lot of debate in the tarot community. A lot of people like to hide behind the responsibilitylessness. Hey, if everyone else is making up words in the 21st century, so am I. And, then they can, hide behind that they're using psychology. This has nothing to do with the spirit, because they don't want to be responsible for a person's fortune, fate, or outcome unless it's good. If it's good and if it's for the positive, then they'll take full responsibility. But if something bad happens, nobody wants to talk about that then. That worries me too. As a reader, I take full responsibility. We're going to talk about death, we're going to talk about life, we're going to talk about love, we're going to talk about heartbreak. These are all components of life, and none of us are exempt from it. So these are just some things to think about and talk about. I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback. So leave a few comments underneath this video, and stay tuned for another installment of AusetGypsy on the road. And until our next adventure, ciao.